All right, so what are we doing today? Well, before we do anything, we should probably paint this thing. Because yesterday we spent about 4.5 hours just wire wheeling it, trying to get all the dirt and rust off, and we did a pretty good job. All the aluminum looks presentable, and then the block, of course, is ready for paint. Nice and stripped and ready to go. We're gonna paint this block up right away and get that engine ready to be put back together, and it's gonna look like the engine that it deserves to be. And then of course we got all our parts yesterday. Vapor hones, if you don't know what that is, that means you didn't watch yesterday's video, which means you should go watch it because it's an awesome video and you'll love it. But check these things out. Still blows my mind at how clean this all looks. Like, this looks like we chromed it or spray painted it or something. It just, look at it in the sunlight, it looks way too good. It's gonna make the rest of the engine look dumpy. That's all right. We'll get our dirty little fingers on these pieces and they won't look that beautiful for long. But let's shut up, get the tape out, mask this thing up, and get it ready for some paint. All right, it's taped up, surface is prepped, surface is clean, everything's great. Now it's time to just spray paint the damn thing. Now, usually anything you can get from like Advanced or the auto part store is usually trash. This stuff has actually done me really well over the years, so I can't really complain about it. If anyone has a better suggestion, let me know, because I wouldn't mind trying something new, but it's held up really well on the rest of my engines as long as you prep the surface. So, would suggest to friend. What do you think, B? Looks pretty good, doesn't it?
I'm thinking snazzier than grandma's cookies. Oh shit, she watches videos.
They're good cookies, Graham, thank you.
They're really good.
I'm so happy on how this came out. The engine looks built now.
No, it looks really clean. I'm really happy with it. It looks
All
awesome.
right, so now it's time we can officially start putting this engine back together. So the first piece of the puzzle is gonna be the front timing cover. If you guys remember, we did get this Vapor hones, and it actually doesn't look too bad compared to the head. I thought it would stick out too much because it's so much shinier, but we're good. So what makes this kind of sketchy is it uses the head gasket to actually seal on the oil pump cover or front timing cover or whatever. It looks like this was removed quite a few times. So I'm nervous that this not as malleable since it's been used so many times. So I think I'm just gonna try and shove as much RTV underneath it as I can and hope it seals. I mean, what else can we do, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I'd have the same worry.
We're stacking dimes, kid. Let's RTV our head gasket real quick. Take this for me. Just a little bit. Just a little bit of RTV. Oh. Just get this out of the way. I feel bad because all the hardware I have for this engine is so trash, but I guess we could like disassemble an engine, get it all like zinc plated or something, replace them one by one.
Nobody's got time for that crap, all right? It's gonna look fine.
It will. I know.
Nobody's
it's just like,
gonna look at the bolts.
See, this is like one of those things where it's hard. Like,
we're gonna drift this.
Yeah,
Don't forget.
Yeah, you're right. We're gonna ruin this car in the best way possible.
The whole engine bay is gonna be covered in dirt and sand within the first 2 hours.
Still hard to accept it. Looks good though. I'll tell you that.
It does look good. All right, she got a wang hanging off her now.
All right, then we have this one piece that it's kind of like a timing cover crankcase breather catch can thing. Vent sort of. Yeah, so it vents the air in the crankcase, but it also has like a baffling inside here with a check valve. It's not gonna hurt to leave it. I'll tell you that. All right, so the next piece of puzzle is actually gonna have to be something a little custom. So with Nisanda, we actually are gonna remake the whole coolant system. Honestly, in our favor. The big thing is we're not gonna be running heat in the car, mainly because it's just way too much work to make it work. Just because of the way we're cutting up the whole entire firewall, and the fact it's gonna be more of a track car, so I'm not too worried about it having heat or not. Because of that, we can actually simplify the cooling system entirely. So basically all the lines that run underneath the intake manifold, we can get rid of. Realistically, we end up with 3. We end up with one here, and one here. If you guys see, I already came up with a solution for this one, we just looped it. So now we have a nice coolant channel that goes through the block, easy peasy, it functions like OEM. We just end up with this big ass hole right here. So luckily enough, from the factory, it comes with this piece right here, and it happens to be steel, which means we could fill this whole hole up right here, cut it off, grind it smooth, and we'll have a delete plate. Not too shabby, little OEM delete plate. Nice work. Come on, give me something.
That's great.
Thanks, man. That's real cool. It's great to me. Actually, that looks pretty good on there. That's it. That's the whole entire cooling system on this engine. Just
Easy.
easy. So there's literally going to be nothing under the intake, and I'm super excited about that.
What's next?
What is next? So we can throw the distributor in, which is cool because I vapor honed it. So this thing looks brand new too.
Lean.
Right? Come on.
With a wiggle. Little technical, little spit.
Love that. All right, so one thing we'll be doing with this engine, which is pretty cool, is we're gonna actually be deleting the distributor. We're gonna be converting this to a smart coil instead of having just these ugly ass wires that stick out and make it look old as hell. So we'll be utilizing most of the existing distributor as a cam angle sensor, but we won't be needing the coil outputs from it. So we could actually get the cap. So then we get rid of our cap because we won't be needing it anymore. Ugly ass thing. And we got this piece by Excessive that actually covers it. So now it just looks like a typical 90s cam angle sensor. That's freaking cool. It honestly makes the engine look probably 10 years newer by just getting rid of the stupid plug wires.
That big bulky thing.
Excessive makes it. It's like 20 bucks. It's nice.
And how much are the coils?
I'm using K-Series coils, which are dirt cheap because they came in like every Honda from what, like 04 to... So before we throw the crank pulley back on, front main seal, you gotta do it. Every time.
That thing's mint.
It might be, but the seal's like $5. Just do it.
Oh, Josh.
Because when this thing leaks, it's a mess. Got an OEM one. Shout out to NissanParts.cc, my boys. This is actually a factory spec. I read the manual. Then we're done. And then we got a crank pulley. Torque to spec. All right, so it's super cool. At this point, we could actually bolt up the intake manifold and we should be able to just like keep it on for good, hopefully. So this will make it look pretty complete. What's really, really cool is on the factory setup, there's usually a bunch of lines running to the intake manifold, you know. Since I won't be running an idle air control valve and I'm running none of the heater hose lines, that's it. We have nothing going through there besides maybe the engine harness when it's in. So it's gonna look nice and simple and clean. So I'm pretty pumped about it. All right, so I was totally planning on using side feed injectors in like an OEM rail because I wanted it to look low key. But then this engine came with a top feed setup, and I'm kind of tempted to use it because it's just kind of a badass piece. So let me know what you guys think. Should we run the...
He's not going to take any of your opinions and run this regardless.
No!
Because it's Jimmy.
No, what do you think? Honestly, because like, honestly, I kind of like the side feed look just because it's like OEM and like...
No.
No?
No.
Run the top feed setup?
Of course. It looks so much better.
I don't know, does it look too extra or what? Because I can always sell them, you know?
No.
No?
Keep it.
Keep it?
I would get rid of the wood speed. The wood speed.
You don't like the little wood dowels you got there? This has got to go. That's hideous.
Yeah, that thing is.
But yeah, I don't know. Top feed setup with distributor delete makes it look a little bit more modern. All right, guys. So we're making pretty good progress so far, and honestly, the engine's starting to look pretty damn good. The intake side, now that looks amazing. I couldn't be happy with this. It's really, really coming together. Just everything. I figured it was a good time to actually try and mock up the turbo and the manifold, and the whole thing now looks pretty badass. Honestly, the KA is kind of growing on me. This looks like a pretty badass setup. So, you guys remember we got the cheaper journal bearing Garrett, mainly because of budget, but this will do us more than enough. And then, a lot of you guys might not notice, but I actually had to buy a new turbo manifold, which really sucks. I really like the other one, but it placed a turbo in a certain spot that didn't allow the downpipe to clear the brakes, which is important. And I didn't want to do manual brakes. I really want an OEM booster in that car. So I sucked it up and bought this thing. Now it's not nearly as pretty. It's just a cast manifold. Won't flow as nicely, but will never crack or give us any issues. And it just looks kind of nice in OEM. I think it looks good. When you do a NAT conversion, a non-turbo engine to turbo, there's really one thing you got to worry about besides, the whole making sure your engine's strong enough is the lines for the turbo. Now, you have your coolant lines and your oil lines. My turbo happens to be oil cooled, which means there's no coolant lines. So all we have to worry about is the oil. We have a high pressure feed, a low pressure return. Return's easy. You get a bung, weld it in your pan or tap it in your pan at the highest point you could find, and just let it drain. Nice and easy. For the feed, it can be a little trickier. You gotta find a spot on your engine that supplies high pressure oil to somewhere that you could tap into. Sandwich plate's always easy, but honestly, most engines, there's like a known spot you can kind of tap into. For the KA, we could use the oil pressure sensor. So the factory oil pressure sensor screws right into the oil tree on that little NPT right there. So what we could do, we could take this T right here, thread it in, put the oil pressure sensor on one side, and then take a feed to a line that we got made right here and send it straight to the turbo. So take this, thread this up in there. Take this, shove it here. Take this and put this on there. And then we take this and then we shove it on there. All right, so we weren't able to get a bunch done today, but we did make a good dent in it. I'm very excited about it. So we gotta wait for the water pump to come in. That's tomorrow. Bolts right on, we're easy to go. Then we have a bunch of the accessories we have to paint still. The alternator, the bracket, the power steering, and all the brackets attached to it, and everything in this box. So that's gonna be a fun afternoon. And then we have to pull a oil pan off of one of those stank ass Ks in the back, weld a bung on it and throw it on here, because unfortunately the oil pan that came on here it's just trashed. I don't know how it got so bad, but it's just like really corroded and just whatever. So then we got to make a bracket for our K coils. As you can see, I threw them in here. They're just kind of sitting, but they look good. So that's just something we got to get creative with, but that shouldn't be too bad. Got to make a delete plate for the IAC, and then most importantly, we have to figure out a color for the valve cover. Now, wrinkle black is great. Goes good with everything. I love it, but I feel like we should do something a little extra for this Honda. Like just a little over the top. Or, I don't know, just something different. I know the Honda wrinkle red was a big suggestion throughout the video so far, so maybe we'll try that. But the engine bay is red, so I don't know if that'd be like too much. I know it's hard. Not a lot goes with red in terms of valve covers, but let me know what you guys think, because that one's important. So, but I'm exhausted, so I'm gonna go home. So you guys know the deal. Like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more content. Thank you guys for watching and just being supportive in all of this. And yeah, I'm rambling. Good night, guys.
I'm cold-hearted and broke, I cold-started and choke. I grow part with my soul, the vote harder to grow. I know why, hey, I know why, hey, yeah. I'm cold-hearted and broke, I cold-started and choke. I grow part with my soul, the vote harder to grow. I know why.